Welcome to the start of a brand new era. We're taking Sunderland fresh off their championship promotion straight into the Premier League, and we've gotten 10 seasons to rebuild this club into an English powerhouse in Football Manager. We're gunning for every domestic trophy, the Premier League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and if we can, and I mean if we can push it a little bit, we are going to go for that Champions League title too. And I've heard you loud and clear, no meta tactics this time. We're building a fresh, original system from scratch, tailored just for this journey and these players. 10 years, one club, endless goals, endless ambition. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Make sure you turn on the bell as well so you never miss another post. And let's get into it. So then, let's go over and talk a little bit about Sunderland. So they're of course going to be in the Premier League, so it was a big year for them last year. They have lost some pretty big players, Joe Bellingham being one of them, and we are now in the top flight of English football. So it's not ideal, but we are going to see what we can do. Now, first off the bat, okay, we are predicted to finish literally rock bottom of the Premier League, which is probably a fair prediction, to be honest with you. It's not going to be an easy time for them in the Premier League. As a club, we've got a 3-star reputation, very good training facilities, very good youth facilities, and pretty average but improvable youth recruitment. Now, the finances are secure, the owners absolutely love the club, and without sounding too harsh, the team's okay. I mean, I've looked at the team a little bit before the video just to get a little bit on terms of what I'm going to do with the tactic and what players we're going to look to move on, what players we're going to have to use. Of course, I make no signings in the first window anyway, but we are playing on an up-to-date database, so we are going to go to the transfers and see if we've got any new faces we can go over and talk about. Now, I didn't watch too much of Sunderland last year, but any Sunderland fans, congratulations on the promotion, and hopefully I can keep you in the Premier League. Now, as a club, they have won 6 Premier League titles, 2 FA Cups, 5 Sky Bet Championships, 1 Sky Bet League 1, 1 English Community Shield, and 1 Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Now, you can see there was a big dip as a club all the way down here in the year of 17-18, and it got worse in the year of 19-20. As you can see, Sky Bet League 1 finishing in 8th place. Now, they are on a bit of an up now. Of course, they are going to be into the Premier League, so there is always a rainbow around the corner. Now, going into the finances, you are going to have £7 million back home if you do wish to play, which, to be honest with you, you probably could bring in a player, or probably better to put it into the wage budget and get some loanee players in. Now, debts and loans, we've got very minuscule debt, so the one positive, or one of many positives to this rebuild, is financially we've got next to no stress, which is always a really good bonus to have. We are playing, of course, in 3 competitions, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Now, we do want to win these cups, don't get me wrong, but the main goal of the first season is to avoid relegation. I'm not really fussed where I finish in the Premier League, as long as we do finish out of this bottom 3. Now, as you can see, we are playing on an up-to-date database, so we are going to have the likes of Leeds back into the Premier League as well, which is really nice to see. It's going to be a challenge because there's a lot of good teams in this mix, and I'm looking at some of the big teams and I'm getting quite nervous because they've got some pretty decent players. It has to be said, it's not too pretty. Now, going over, of course, to the actual tactic, I have made one, and it's definitely not meta. We're going to go through it. So it's a 4-3-3 tactic because it does actually suit the Sunderland team quite well. But we have gone away from the meta in quite a big sort of regard. I mean, we're playing with a standard defensive line. Typically, I'll go in with a much higher for them sort of results and, well, game-breaking results. We're not even really hitting on the counter, which seems to be quite good this year. We have got a certain element of tempo and press into the team because I do want to, you know, be competitive. We are trying to stay up in the Premier League, but we're using a mixture of player roles that I wouldn't really use. I mean, we're using 2 DLPs, which I wouldn't really use in a 4-3-3, but we've got 2 players that actually suit the role quite well. So I thought, do you know what? Let's give it a go. And this team isn't too bad. We're going to go to the transfers because there is a player that I do want to talk about, and that is going to be this guy. Simon Adingra, coming in from Brighton, I believe, or Union, whichever one it is. He is absolutely fantastic. I mean, this guy comes in, he's not obviously played a game yet, but you can see here his sort of time in the Jupiler Pro League, the Belgian league. He is ridiculously good from what I see as a face of a card. I mean, he's got great dribbling, great finishing, great composure. He's young, he's versatile, and I'm buzzing we've got him in the team because he is going to be an incredible player. Of course, Enzo is a player that I also have signed in previous rebuilds. He's incredibly hot or cold. He either develops up here or he sort of stays where he is. But because of the limited funding we have got, he will be getting a lot of game time early doors at least for the first 2-3 seasons. So a lot of pressure is going to be on his shoulders to come in and show me why he's in the team. This is an interesting signing because he's a bit of an older player, but of course I'm not going to turn my nose up at anyone that's played at Atletico Madrid. The guy's got bags of experience, has still got the pace, still got the tackling, a real leader in the team, and to be honest, very handy to have. Can play left back and centre back. So for us, probably more of a centre back, which is completely fine. And lastly, we are going to have Noah, who is probably a player for the future. Won't get too much game time this season, to be honest, but they do help fill out this team quite well. You can see, obviously, Ronaldo goes right in at the back there. Sirkin at left back's a really good player. I really like Sirkin. Really good complete wing back, just does the job really well. Can also play centre back, so these two can have a field day in switching around between them. You've got Ballard as well, who is pretty decent. He's a little bit on the slower side compared to his partner, but he can go and get the job done. And Hume at right back is also pretty mediocre, but we can deal with him for a season or two. Up to the midfield, you've got Neil, you've got Ekwa, you've got Lafie, you've got my favourite man on the left-hand side, you've got Roberts on the right-hand side, who again, is he Premier League quality? I think time's going to tell, isn't it? I mean, I wouldn't say judge him by first appearance he is, but we'll see what he can do. Players surprise me all the time in this game. Up front, we've got Isidore, who I actually quite like. Got a bit of pace about him, decent composure, decent finishing. Again, is he a Premier League bagsman? We're yet to see, so that's going to be pretty interesting to go and see how he does. On the bench, of course, you got this man who is... This guy is the... He's who I picture. When I think of Sunderland, I always picture this face. Don't know if that's just me, but we've got him in Big Luke. He's here, you know, he's 30 years of age, unlikely to improve. Sadly, probably one of the first people out the door, if we're being realistic. We've got Rusin as a backup striker, a really, really good option. Very different to, obviously, Isidore in terms of what he does on the pitch, but definitely can still get something out of him. Pembele is a really good defender as well. He's got very good potential, so I don't look to move him on, but I'm also not going to lock him in, because he is good enough to get into this team if he proves himself in training and things like that. So there are a lot of positives in this team, but when you compare this 11 to some of the other Premier League 11s, of course, you know, it might not be that easy to stay up in the Premier League, but my aim is to get points of the teams around us. You do that, you're going to be completely fine. It's a decent tactic, definitely not meta, but I am confident in what it is. Let's go and see if we can survive, because there's a lot of good teams. A lot of them. Well, things have gone a lot better than what I predicted, and do you know what? I'm going to take this any single day. Now, I will be honest, if you actually just look a second, the difference between 11th and 7th is decided by 10 points, which is, you know, around about 3 wins, or it's 3 wins and a draw. So it's incredibly close, but we have finished 7th, which is really, really strong. We have gained ourselves, obviously, Conference League football, which is, or Europa Conference League football, that is. Really, really good competition to be in, and I'm actually happy with what we have done here. Now, we did lose 16 games, which actually is quite high compared to the teams around us. Now, some of the games we lost, they were absolute thumpings. Some of them were actually quite close games. I mean, we did beat some big teams as well, in the likes of City, Chelsea, Brighton, Tottenham, Villa. We are able to beat the big teams, and we do draw against, well, Liverpool twice, which is really impressive, taking a lot of points off them. And United, we got a point off. They actually finished in 10th. So we have done really well in Season 1, in my opinion. And we have also got players to talk about. Well, more a player to talk about it is going to be Simon. And this guy done exactly what I knew he would do. He put up goals, he put up assists. The guy's developing in such a good way, and he is a fantastic player to have in this system. he hopefully will be part of this team for the entire decade. Now, of course, as new gens come in, things might change. He might become a rotation player, but that is so many years down the line, and it might never even happen. So we're not going to panic about that just yet. Now, apart from a fantastic, and I mean a fantastic, Premier League season, the other stuff didn't go too well, and I don't really care too much because the Premier League survival was number one. The fact we've got some form of European football makes up for anything else that has gone wrong. We do lose in the 5th round against Leicester. We do lose only by 1 goal, so it's quite frustrating because of that. And the 4th round by Fulham, we actually lose by 1 goal again, but we do concede, you know, it's one of them. We can see 3 goals, so it is a deserved loss at the end of the day. So definitely room for improvement, but I mean, that's quite a harsh thing to say in season 1 when we've not really made any of our own signings. So gonna take that and absolutely run a mile. I mean, money-wise, we are going to have quite a big budget because we have stayed up. We have got obviously European football. We've got basically £88 million, so very happy with that. Now, there's no secret here. We are going to have to spend some of that money on contracts and the good stuff like that. Now, we're going to worry about 2025 upwards, and as you can see, that justifies quite a lot of people. Now, whenever I start a rebuild, especially when we're 2 seasons in, I like to keep a lot of the players I've got, because now we're definitely, that sentence becomes true, because we are playing in the European competition, and if I let a lot of these players go, I can't bring the same quantity back in with the money that we're probably going to get with these players. So, to be honest with you, these players upwards, all the ones that are valued at 0, I will just transfer list or let them go, whatever it is. The rest of them I am going to keep at the club purely for rotation, and then we can just bring fresh legs in, better players, and gradually build the squad up. I don't like to 360 your team unless it's absolutely essential, and after what I've seen, the players are doing their job quite well. Now, this tactic is doing things, and again, at any part of this video, you want to get these perks, this tactic, the rebuild file. There's so many cool stuff going on over there. There's like 230 tactics from this year, over 80 rebuild files, ad-free viewing, so many perks. Make sure you are going over to the Patreon, because by the time this video goes live, just checking, there is 30% off, record-breaking discount for 1 month only before the next game comes out. Make sure you go and take full advantage, as many of you have, to be fair, and I do respect it. But this tactic, now, I was surprised at how well it done, because usually using 2 DLPs has never gone really too well for me, I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm very happy with what I've seen. Now, the main man in the team is going to be a Dingra. I mean, 25 goal contributions for his first season here. I mean, it's incredible. He is by far the best player in this team. Surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly to some, Isidore, who gets in the team as, you know, the best striker, didn't have the best return. Rusyn gets in, and he has 18 goal contributions, 13 goals scored. Very, very impressive. Isidore didn't do too bad. It's just not as good. The rest of the bench, I mean, this man out on loan, 7 and 9. He was at Aberdeen. I mean, it's a bit of a league to farm the stats in, shall we say, so we're not going to pay too much attention to that, to be honest, but at least he did play some games. Lafitte, 8 and 9. Ekwar, 4 and 5, Roberts, 4 and 10. It's not a bad return in terms of, you know, stat lines from attacking players. The back line didn't do too bad as well. The main man, obviously, that we're all seeing is going to be a Dingra. And overall, we were the 7th best team at scoring and the 9th best when it comes to conceding. So quite fair to where we finished in terms of the team stats as well. So we're going to go into Season 2 right now. Go and spend the money, improve the players. To be honest, this money can go anywhere, because there's room for improvement, bar the left wing. There is room for improvement anywhere, and I mean that genuinely. So I've got no idea who you're going to see, but it's part of the fun of the rebuild. Well, the first signing is going to be a man in demand, and a lot easier to get in this game than in real life. It is going to be Hugo, coming in from Frankfurt for a total of 17 million, and I'll be honest, I have seen him do better in FM, but we are not going to turn our nose up at 9 goals and 2 assists. He was not locked in, he was battling for a position as well, and he is just an option to have up front, and not just an option as in he's okay, he's a really, really good striker. Now, this guy, I am hoping, can develop a little bit. He still can grow a little bit as a player, but already what I see on the tin just strengthens what we've got up front, you know. He will become one of the better strikers over time, and for that money, compared to what I've paid for him in previous rebuilds, Leipzig rebuild comes into mind where I spent about 80 million on him. I could not let that guy go. I mean, he cost me under 18 million. I know it's bold. Garnacho is going to come in to play on the right-hand side for a total of 25 million. Now, I don't know if it's the up-to-date database and the transfers are realistic, and I think maybe they've made it also realistic that players that want to leave, they've got a lower value, whatever that is. It's from sort out SI is what I will say. 5 goals, 4 assists. So again, in a team that is still probably favoured to definitely not finish in the top 4, top 6, it's actually quite a decent return. Now, I like what I've done with this signing because he gets a lot of stick in real life, and I'm the one that also gives some of that stick. But for a team like Sunderland, it's an absolute dream to have. We've got 2 of the most exciting wingers probably in the Premier League now. That's a little bit biased, isn't it? But we've got 2 very exciting wingers in the Sunderland team, and we've got a very good striker now, so the attack has pretty much taken care of itself. 7.2 million. Now, I will say he currently stands as a championship standard centre-back, but it is going to be Thomas Araujo. Now, he comes in, he's a pretty decent, well-rounded centre-back. Is he the best in the game? Of course he's not, but for £7 million and 30k a week, it's worth getting. Goalkeeper, I don't think I've ever signed. Correct me if I'm wrong. We are going to pick up Julian... I'm going to butcher the second name, so it's going to be a player I've never signed, and I do not want to say that second name because I will butcher it and offend someone. But he comes in for 21 million, keeps 7 clean sheets, which again is by far from record breaking, but we still haven't got a world-class backline, so I'm not going to pin all the blame on him. He's a clear upgrade on our previous goalkeeper, and we can look back at this window. We spent 71 million, so under budget. We let 2 players go in Tima. He is going to go, never really did play him, and also Elias Lenz is also going to be leaving, never played him as well. But we have brought in a goalkeeper, centre-back, right mid, and also a striker for 71 million. And all of these players, apart from the goalkeeper, I've never signed, but I'm confident in all 3 of these names at minimum are pretty household names. So extremely happy with season 1 or season 2 technically of the transfers, as we have improved pretty much half the team while remaining not only in budget but actually spending under budget. So yeah, Q season 2. Well, what's happened here then? Because we finish in 15th place. Now, is this because of the stress of the Europa Conference League? What has actually happened here? 15th place. That is one of the biggest drop-offs I've ever seen. Now, what I will say is we have got not a single player in the stat lines, just to make sure. We have not got a single player. This is a disgustingly bad season. 18 losses, and I mean, we have been getting pumped. 4-1 by Ipswich is a standout result. 8 draws here. That doesn't help because we only had 3 last season. 12 wins. We are still beating Liverpool, but I mean, 15th place. We are very far off the drop, like very far, but we need to find out what is going on because that is a serious amount of positions to drop in one season. Okay, so we actually were in the Europa League, not in the Conference League. Now, we actually were quite good in this competition. We are going to absolutely lash PSV 4-1, which is amazing to see. The quarterfinals, we are going to beat Ludogorets, who are a bit of an easier team, 5-1. Then into the semis, we do actually play Fiorentina, and we get not only beaten, not only partly beaten, we get absolutely blitzed 6-1. So that is going to be the end of the run in that competition, but maybe that is a bit of why we dropped so many places, because we did get quite far in it. I mean, we're only 1 step away from the final, which ended up being a win for the team that absolutely blitzed us. So they obviously were quite a good team that year. When it comes to the FA Cup, a 4th round exit against Nottingham Forest in 2-0 fashion, and a 3rd round exit in the Carabao Cup against Villa 1-0. So a real negative season. Now, I don't know if it was just last season, it was, you know, a little bit of first season spark, you know, a little bit of a fluke season, maybe this is the reality, but the players that I brought in, I was expecting to probably maintain where I finished last year. Maybe that was a bit too much of an ask, but it's a big drop. I mean, from 7th to 15th is not a good feeling at all. And I mean, money-wise, we still have got a very generous budget, which does actually surprise me. We've got £73 million, and I was not expecting that considering the performance. Now, as a team, the only man that was locked in is going to be the new centre-back that we got, because when we actually go by the best 11, he doesn't get into the team. But the stats We've not got one player now with 20 goals. Adingra had a big drop-off, 5 and 7. Garnacho didn't intervene because he was on the right-hand side. Ekwa, Lafi had a great time, 4 and 11. 8 assists coming in for Ronaldo there at left-back. 10 and 4 coming in from Roberts. He had a decent season, rotating with Garnacho, I would imagine. Hugo, 16 and 2, is relatively decent. Rusin, 5 goals as well. It's just not as good. That's the easy way of saying this. It is not as good. And I mean, we've got some phases in this team now that I want to see big improvements out of. I mean, Garnacho has to keep improving. He's a player that I knew was a bold risk to actually sign, but for the money I spent, I'm willing to take the risk. But I want to see more from these players. I know they can offer me more, so we're going to go into Season 3 right now and hopefully turn things around, because that's not good enough. So we are going to look to strengthen the midfield this season, and that is done by bringing in Harvey Elliott, a player that is rumoured to leave in real life, and we're going to take him at Sunderland for 23 million. 18 goal contributions in 26 appearances. Now, that is a return I can get behind. A fantastic player who really does become a star player at Sunderland. He is close to his full potential, but if he does what he done this season for me for the next remainder of the seasons, I'll be a very happy man. So that is going to be an incredible signing in my opinion. Very good mentally and technically. Not the quickest player, but he doesn't really need to be the quickest player. And he helps me out big time. What a signing. And just a really good track record for me in rebuilds. Aaron Hickey is going to come in a bit more pricey, 41 million, plays every game between left back and right back. 8 goal contributions, a very good performer. I definitely done this as a bit of a banker signing. I always like to get a player in that I know will just do well, and he always does. Very similar to Ferdi Kadioglu. Very similar players, the fact they can play left back and right back, and this guy is just an absolute joy to use. And again, we are going to be under budget, so really happy by that. We brought in 2 players this time compared to 4 players, so maybe we just signed too many players last season. I'm not too sure. We also managed to keep everybody apart from Trey, who is going to go out on the free. Again, a player that we literally never use, so not a loss at all. We've got 2 massive gains, and I'm super confident. Well, I say I'm super confident like it's not hard. If we've not improved on 15th place, we need help. No clear improvement though in the Carabao Cup, as we are going to lose 3-1 to Burnley in the 3rd round. And the same can be said in the FA Cup, a 5th round exit. We lose on penalties against Everton. So everything now relies on that Premier League. 3, 2, 1. That is more like it. That is crazy. Look at the amount of places we dropped. Now we have gained 10 places. We're back in the top 6. Well, for the first time, we're in the top 6. We have got Europa League football. We only lost 10 games, and those games were all relatively quite close. We are beating teams like Everton, Tottenham, Brighton, West Ham, Liverpool, Arsenal. That's more like it. Draws coming in against some pretty big teams as well. Hugo developing finally into what I know he can become. I've also seen Harvey Elliott, the 4th most assists and the 2nd best performer in the entire Premier League. But Hugo, 15 goals, much better from him. His best season by far in the least amount of games played. So just playing a lot better football, and maybe the addition of Harvey Elliott, the assist that he provides, maybe that is a key part of why Hugo is now playing on such fine form. Now, we are in a really good position here, guys, because we're going to have money from finishing in the top 6, and the players that we're signing are now really starting to kick in. So I am absolutely buzzing. And also, for any Arsenal fans, just in case it doesn't happen in real life, there's your fix, okay? Gyökeres is at Arsenal in this save. But that is an amazing season. A big turnaround, a big budget, £84 million. The debts and loans are pretty much clear, so we can go and spend. And we are now seeing, hopefully, a bit more life from this team. The best 11 looks like this. We have also made a couple of changes. So, well, one change, really. We have introduced a CM into the tactic, because now we can afford that player to be in there. We've got a lot of players that actually suit that better than the DLP. So you are going to see gradual changes to this tactic. And at the end of the video, I'll make sure to have a little segment where we talk about the final version of the system. Now, Hickey comes in, has a great season, above a 7.3 rating. Dan Neil actually gets a lot of action in midfield with 1 and 4. Harvey Elliott, 8 and 10, is remarkable. Adingra, 9 goal contributions, a really bad average rating, but he's still doing his thing. Garnacho improved significantly, 17 goal contributions. Hugo, 17 and 1. 8 from the fee, 7 and 4 from Roberts, Rusin 1 assist, 6 and 2 for Isidore, and a player that I will say maybe I should have locked in, but I didn't want to lock in from season 1, is going to be Pembele. Now, he was getting a lot of game time in the first couple of seasons, but he just didn't grow enough to really get that guaranteed position, and I had to sign someone of better quality. So that's a bit of a shame, but he is still at the club, and that is all that matters. So this is a big turnaround season, in my opinion. The likes of Adingra, I am keeping a close eye on because I know how good this guy can be. And he, the first season was remarkable. Then it's been a bit of a drop off in the next couple of two, but he is still doing his thing. So we're going to leave him, let him crack on, and realistically going into the next window, you're looking at what, possibly bringing in a better DLP. I like Dan Neil, but probably not going to cut the mustard. Maybe another CM. I think Ekwart is a good player, but is he going to win me a Premier League? I don't quite think so. So a couple of midfield players potentially needed. Definitely some more centre-backs. At the moment, I'm happy with Sirkin. So it's going to take either a bargain of a wonder kid's left-back or a really good left-back that's wanting to leave for me to even consider signing one. But we've got a plan in place now. I feel like we're going in the right direction, but I don't know if you've noticed, we're still yet to win anything. Literally anything. Well, we never actually used him, but Luis Semedo is going to be going to the Portuguese league for 180k. Luke, the face of Sunderland, in my opinion that is going to be going to Cardiff for 245k. Now, to be honest, he's been at the club for absolutely ages, so he was also getting a lot of game time. I will go and say that right away. Obviously, this is not when we've been playing, but he's played a fair few games for us as well when we have been playing. But last season didn't really get too much action, so I thought, do you know what? Let him go. Let him have a good rest of his career. We are also going to sell Alan Brown. He is going to go to Derby, 34 years of age. His time simply run its course. He's too old for the club. The same's going to be said for this man. I actually really enjoyed using him, but we are going to cash in when we can. He's 35, 4.5 million, frees up some wage as well. He didn't do anything wrong in terms of performance, but he's 35. He literally will retire anytime now. Why not get 4.5 million when you can? Plays a bit in help and fund this guy. It is going to be Ayman Kari coming in from Chelsea for 33 million. 9 goal contributions. You've now got him. You've got Elliott. It's a really good partnership in midfield. I like what I see with this guy. He's just a really well-rounded player that is close to his full potential, but currently what he offers is more than good enough anyway, hence why I signed him. And we've also brought in a DLP, so that midfield has been risen from here up to here. It's been risen right to the max, and this is Tyler Morton. I mean, another really good player coming in from Liverpool. £20 million. Not the most eye-opening stats, I will say, for a first season, but the addition of him and the previous man I shoe is just a real big statement to how we're actually going to start moving. We're improving the team significantly, quite rapidly as well, and it leaves one last signing. And that is going to be Zabrani, coming in from Bournemouth for a total of 42 million, the big signing of the window in terms of the funding. 6.92 average rating, again, a very good, safe option. Fantastic when it comes to the mental side of the game, great with the technical, also got a bit of pace about him, and this will be one of the centre-backs that can get thrown right into the team. And that's the great thing about this window. We have finally, well, I say finally, like it's a good thing, we have broken the budget a little bit, just a little bit, but we have got 3 players that aren't for the future, they're for the present and for the future, but they're good enough players to get in right now, and I think to keep the progression up, that's exactly what we need. So yes, we did lose 6 players, 3 of them we didn't even really use, and I still think we've come out better. So do you know what? Let's go into season 4. We finished 5th last season. We've got Europa League to play. It's going to be more stress, more strain. Do we keep in the top 6? I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure. So our first season in the Champions League went a lot better than what I thought, to be honest with you, because we actually are able to make it out of the league phase. We only lose 1 game against Inter Milan. We beat Arsenal, Marseille, Lazio, Atletico Madrid, AZ. We get a draw against Porto and Olympiacos, putting us through to the round of 16, where we beat Real Sociedad 7-1. So a really strong performance up until the quarters, where we take a game to Bayern. We don't beat them, but That's a really good showing. We do drop out of the top 7, 8, well, we're in 8th place, the top 7 in the Premier League, so we're not going to have European football next season, sadly, but I have seen enough to know that when we do get in there, we can at least be somewhat competitive in getting out of the league phase. You know, I'm very surprised we actually done that. A really nice thing to see at the moment is that Simon Adingra is on the comeback. You know, he's going to be 3rd top assister, great in the most player of the matches, the 4th best performer in the entire Premier League, which is really good to see, but we are lacking any other players in there. So what I've noticed about this game, and obviously in real life naturally, the more players you've got in these player stats, typically the higher you finish up. So 8th place is what we're going to have. I mean, it's not great, it's not awful. Realistically, we've dropped 3 places, but you throw in the Champions League, added stress, more games. The fact that we got out of the league phase did mean that we had to dedicate more resources to it as well. I feel like I'm Jurgen Klopp now making some excuses, but it is 100% the truth, and it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, this is the battle now, isn't it? Because we want to win the Premier League, but by doing that, you're going to have a few seasons not winning the Premier League, but in the top 4 or top 6, which means the next season, you've got to play Europa League. So it all comes at the same time, and we're clearly not ready to hack that amount of games at the moment. So that's something we've just got to keep building on. Now, the rest of the competitions, a quarter-final exit in the FA Cup against Tottenham in 1-0 fashion, and a 3rd round exit against Chelsea on penalties. What I will say is, what is becoming very noticeable about these competitions, we can't get very far in them. We can't get very far in them at all. It's always the 3rd round, the early stages. Quarters isn't too bad, but I mean, to be honest, I just want to see myself in a final. I don't even care if I lose it. Have I just jinxed myself? I hope I've not jinxed myself. But I just want to see myself in a final. Get me to Wembley. We simply can't even get there, so we need to work on that quite a fair bit. Now, money-wise, again, we have got a very fair budget, 65 million. That's one thing I will say. Right from minute 1, this board has backed me, so we need to bring them some success back, because it's the minimum we can do, to be honest. The players on paper now, I look at this team, and I don't know if I'm delusional, I'm starting to see a team that can actually win the Premier League. And I know you might sit there and think, Josh, are you okay? The front 3, I think, can win a Premier League. I honestly think they can. They've got the stats now. I mean, 15 and 11, 18 and 16, 27 and 1. The midfield, I'm going to say it, I think can win a Premier League. If Morton has more assists, the other 2 are doing their thing. The back line, maybe Ballard needs to be replaced, maybe Circuit in a couple of years, but I think we are going down the right path. So if you are still watching this part of the video, let me know if you think I'm off my head, or you think that, do you know what, you're doing a good job here, because I think we are putting the right fundamentals in place. So, yeah. Hopefully I don't come across crazy. Let's get into Season 5, and we're still chasing Trophy 1. Only one player is going to be going out. It is going to be Romain Mundle. He is going to go to the Belgian League on the free. Again, a player that has been at the club for a long time, but simply didn't get a look in. This is a statement that I want to improve, and we have gone a bit over budget again, I'll be honest, but it was approved by the board, this signing, so they organised it for me. Scalvini is going to come in for 45 million, and sadly it was too late for him to even get registered. I sort of made this signing a little bit after the window because he wasn't getting the game time that he sort of, you know, potentially wanted, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to make the signing. It is a big call because he didn't even play this year, but I'm looking at myself as a manager now that is trying to get into big competitions, European competitions, and needs to be consistent in them, and you need these sorts of world-class players. Now, it's a big statement because we've blown a lot of money on a player that didn't even play this year, and that sometimes has worked for me. If you go back and watch my previous rebuilds, we've had it before where we've signed 2 players that don't get registered in time, but then they are almost signings for the next season. Now, this guy can play in European competitions, so he will be playing in, for, you know, in the Conference or Europa League, whatever we got. He will also be playing in the English Cups, so he will offer something, and hopefully that pays off, otherwise I'm going to feel stupid. And we done the same with Ben. He was not a planned signing, Ben Doak. He was not planned, but for rotation, he's perfect. You can see here, he was not really getting the love at Liverpool, so I thought they'd loaned him out. He got a lot of game time, didn't use him after, so I took him, you know, off their hands for 18 million. And again, no Premier League action this season, but I will say it's not always a bad thing, and you might think I'm crazy, but next season, we're going to have Scalvini and Ben Doak, as Premier League new additions before we have signed any other players. So it's a bold strategy because it might mean in Season 5 we technically don't improve. But let's just go and see. Well, we are off to Wembley, and there is a goal in the cup final, and it is going to be scored by us against Millwall, and it is going to be one of our new signings, Kari. What a finish. Trophy 1. That is right. 5 seasons in, we have finally won 1 trophy, and it is going to be the Carabao Cup. Definitely not the number 1 trophy I'm after, but I will take it. Could we have won both English Cups? No, we couldn't have done, because a 5th round exit against West Ham. We've already gone back to usual ways. But, of course, we have got the Conference League to look forward to. Now, the Conference League is a bit of a, it's a bit of an easier competition. Let's just say it like that in polite terms. And we are going to win every single game in the league phase. We get through to the round of 16 where we do actually, I mean, we blitz. I mean, we're going to blitz a lot of teams. We're going to say that right now. 4-0 against Hammerbray. I mean, it's very, very easy games. A 5-3 win over Bomo Glimp, meaning we are going to play Slavia Prague in the final, who give us a better game than what I thought, but we do beat them on penalties. So we are going to win the Europa Conference League. So even if things have gone south in the Premier League, at bare minimum, at least we've got Europa League to look forward to next year. And we've won a Carabao Cup. So Season 5 has returned us 2 trophies, which is really, really good to see. Now, the Premier League, yeah. The Premier League, we've dropped off a little bit. You know, we're down to 11th, and a bit, I'm in split decisions here, because Garnacho had a great season by the looks of it, by the way. I'm a little bit annoyed about it because obviously we're outside of the top 6. We're nowhere near the top 4, but we have won a European trophy and a Carabao Cup, and I'm sat here after 5 seasons wanting to win some trophies. So I'm going to allow it for this season, but at some point, as a club, as a team, as a core, we have to link up being able to win these trophies and being competitive in the Premier League. I mean, we are essentially close to 20 points off being in the top 4. That's just not a few games. That's a lot of games. A lot of games. It's nearly 21, not 21, it's nearly 7 wins. When you look at it like that, it's actually quite alarming, to be honest. But for Season 5, we're going to take it. It's 2 trophies that, you know, are added to the cabinet, and I guess we can move on. Money-wise, we are going to have a budget of 68 million. That seems to be always the round figure they give us at the moment, which is still very, very nice. Debts and loans, we have got a bit now because we've been overspending, so I'm going to reel the reins in a little bit and just try and calm myself down, because we have now got a team that can win a Carabao Cup, can win a Conference League, which, you know, the Conference League can be take or leave with how valuable people see that as. But let's now remember, before I spend a penny, next season we've got Scalvini in the Premier League, we've got Ben Dubak in the Premier League, we've basically got 2 new signings without spending a penny from this year's budget. So I'm quite confident going into the next season, because we're going to have players on top of those 2 already. The attack is doing their thing. Obviously Garnacho is going to be on the right hand side. 10 and 15, 14 and 9, 23 and 4. Harvey Elliott, 26 goal contributions. Come on. The guy's absolutely cooking. And I do think that Ben Doak is going to be a true competitor to Adingra and also Garnacho, because he is way too good for the bench. And to be honest, he is probably going to go for Garnacho more because he plays on the right-hand side. So that will be very interesting to see. But let's get in to Season 6, see what we can do. I'm actually quite confident because we've got 68 million to spend. We've got 2 fantastic players that will get into the Premier League team next year. I'm not going to make a claim, but I know what I think we can do. We are going to be waving goodbye to Habib Diarra. He is going to be going to the French League on the free. Now, he only played for us since this rebuild, a handful of games. So it's not the most, you know, big loss, to put it bluntly. I don't even know how much we actually spent to get him at the club, but he's just a pretty mediocre midfield player. Nothing too big to lose. Free signing number 1, and the only free signing, is going to be Johan Bakayoko. Do we need him? Potentially not. Is he a good player to have? Yes. Did he do well? Yes. 8 and 16. Now, this guy cost me nothing. He is valued at £80 million. So whether you think we needed him or we didn't need him, he's come in, he's done well, and if I ever want to sell him, minimum £60 million. That's good for business, good for present performance. He's come in, shown what he can do, and he's just one cracking player. 0.5 million, we are going to bring in a sort of backup midfield player who actually played a lot more games than expected because of injuries and things like that. He comes in, doesn't really do too much in the games that he plays, but he was brought in to be there almost, just be a good set of legs. He's got the sort of, stats that I would want in a midfield player. Very well rounded, got a good passing range, good first touch, all of that good stuff. He can still grow as a player. The value is nuts, by the way, on this guy. He might even be a bit of a business move. I'm going to be honest with you. If a team come in and offer me anywhere near that region, he's off. And we've gone world class. We've got now, I would say, two players in that back line that I would define as world class. Scalvini and Balde. He comes in for a total of 45 million. 3 assists. I would want to see more, and hopefully we do see more over the next few years. He is 27, but we are now preparing for, the next 5-year stint where it's now business, okay? We need to start winning stuff. So he suits the criteria big time. He can also cover at right back if needed, so he sort of covers the same lines of Hickey. Very, very good option to have, and he comes from Barcelona. He's at Barcelona for a reason. The guy's incredible, so I've not really got to sell him too much to you. You know how good he is, and that is going to be 3 very, very good signings. Incredible signings. And we are off to Wembley again, this time in the FA Cup final, playing Manchester United, who look very, very strong. And it is going to be a fantastic signing in Kabasi, can't even say the name, who is going to go through and make it 1-0 for Manchester United. But if you pay attention now to who gets us back into the game, this is exactly what I meant for having him for next season. A little bit of luck, but Ben Doak is going to make it 1-1. And Ben Doak has not only arrived at the club, he has delivered at the club, because Ben Doak is going to go on to get the winner in the 110th minute. FA Cup winners. The Carabao Cup didn't go as smooth, a 3rd round exit against Chelsea, but I am glad we have won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup now at least once. The Europa League didn't go that hot, to be honest. We do get knocked out in the quarterfinals, 3-2 over Liverpool. Now, a bit of me thinks, does this mean that maybe, just maybe, we can still have a good finish in the Premier League? And we do. A 5th place finish. I will say we're still miles off winning the Premier League, but Ben Doak is the 2nd top goal scorer. Johan Bakayoko is going to be the top assister. So 2 really good additions to the team have become quite obvious to what they can do, and we were only 2 points off getting top 4 football, which is really, really amazing to see. So we are improving as a team. We have won a trophy as well in that FA Cup, and we are now showing that we can be somewhat consistent in staying in good progressive places in the Premier League division. Now, in terms of money, we are going to have a budget of £83 million. Incredibly generous budget. Now, we did underspend last year, and we have, of course, got Europa League football again, so I can see where the money is coming from, but we have now got to pay a lot of attention to where this gets spent. And I'm going to be honest with you, Ben Doak is not usually a striker in my eyes anyway, but 30-4, what didn't help us this season was an injured goalkeeper. Not good at all. Really, really big loss. Harvey Elliott, 12-17. Kari, 2-16. Bakayoko, 13-21. Adingra, 17-14. 30-4 for Doak. Hugo, 17-4. 8-7 for Dan Neil. That is a cracking season from Dan Neil. I like that a lot. That is an amazing season. But let's talk business. Ben Doak, he has come in and he has been absolutely incredible. And for a man with 10 finishing, he scored 30 goals, so that's why you don't always listen to the attributes. But I don't want him as a main striker. I don't see him as a main striker. That's just a bit of, stubbornness coming in from my side. So I do think I want to have a striker and almost have him on the wing and have him as an option with Bakayoko, with Adingra, and maybe, bring in a striker. Garnacho on the wing as well. But I don't know what striker I want. It might be a new gen. We are approaching new gen era, in my eyes anyway. We've got money to do it. It might be new gen time. It could be new gen time. Get ready. So the first departure is going to be Aji Elise. He is going to be going to Blackburn for 400k. It is going to be a 200k loss, but I mean, the guy is now sitting at 31 years of age. He will never get game time, so it's only fair we let him go. We do sell Dan Neil. Now, he just had a good season, so it's not a reason down to him being a bad performer. It's a reason that Crystal Palace have paid me 17 million for him. He has a great time in the Championship, to be fair. He's had a great time for us. He's played a lot of games. But it's time to go now. £17 million is more than a fair price for and I mean this in a respectful way because he's done really well. He is now on the decline. He's 30 years of age. He's a bit injury prone as well. I'm taking 17 million any day. We are going to get a striker. It is going to be Jose Reyes coming in from Man City. £32 million, 16 goals and also 7 assists. Now, if I remember correctly, I did lock him in just to maintain and hopefully guarantee a good first season. And he did deliver. Now, is this guy the end product up front? That I'm not sure of, but he will definitely be in the team for the rest of the rebuild, but there is still potential another new gen comes in who is simply better. But at the moment, I would say this guy is an immaculate striker to have. The composure, the finishing, the first touch is really, really strong. He might just lack that bit of pace I want in the upcoming years. £20 million, we are going to pick up another new gen. It is going to be Luca, coming in from Fiorentina for a total of £12 million, 29 games played. He will also play a ton of games regardless of, you know, whatever year it is, because he can play in 3 positions. Really good at centre-back in my opinion, but he has got what it takes to play at the left-back role and the right-back role. But in my eyes, I see him as a centre-back, but I believe the game actually favours him at right-back when you do the best 11 sort of thing. So quite interesting to see where this guy's career goes, but whatever happens, he will be played. And another new gen for midfielder is going to be Romain Gulu, I think that's how you say that, coming in from Troyes for £18 million. And it's a big amount of money to spend potentially on a player like him, but he's had a great first season. I looked at his attributes and I was like, do you know what? He's got a lot in the yellow, you know, he's good technically, good mentally. Probably the biggest weakness is the physical side, to be honest, but he offers so much in the mental and technical side. He's still young as well. And I thought, let's get him in, add another player to the midfield, and I feel like every season the transfer windows have been really good. Even if you go back right to the first window that we had, I really still rate this window. The only player from this that didn't really work out is this man. He just didn't really develop into the player that, you know, he can become. And he did have the chance to do so it's a little bit disappointing. But, I mean, the windows have been really, really strong in my opinion. And I'll be surprised if we don't improve again. I really would. Now we've got our striker. We've got a good sort of defender. I'll say defender because he can play in a variety of roles. And another midfield player. I think we're going to be golden. And we are off to Wembley again in the FA Cup final against United again. I believe that's what we matched last time. And this is going to be a bit of an interesting one because we're going to find ourselves going 1-0 down inside of 20 minutes, which is never ideal, to be honest. But we are going to bounce back in the second half with Morton going alone here and actually class a little bit of cheek off the post and in. That is a cracking goal to get back into the game. And this is what I like to call the Sunderland spell, because this is where we really turned it up a gear. We're going to drive at the back line, direct ball back inside, Bakayoko. That is why you get him on the free, because he can do that. We take the lead in the 80th minute, and in the 83rd minute, Zabrani gets some delusional confidence, pushes it up into Bakayoko, into Elliott, back into Bakayoko, into the middle, and Doak, who has been such a good signing, is going to make it 3-1, and just when things couldn't get any better, we find a way to make them better. Zabrani, again, a really good player in this final, finds Elliott, first time through, into Doak, a 4-1 thumping. And for the first time in this rebuild, we also link up the Carabao Cup. That means we've won the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup finally together. Lovely to see. Would have made it sweeter is winning the Community Shield as well. It actually is the first time we have ever got a chance to win it. Sadly, we lose on penalties. Our first time in the Champions League went how I would expect. We are going to lose in the round of 16 against Liverpool. It was 3-1. I mean, it's not exactly a thumping, but I knew we weren't going to win it this season anyway. Premier League, second place. We are finally looking like a bit of a danger in the Premier League, and I think there's a couple of players in here that are making it quite obvious to why. The new man up front, Bakayoko, and also Kari, our goalkeeper, second most clean sheets. We're now seeing a few more of our players in the stat lines, and things are... It's almost like the table's turning, okay? I'm now seeing a lot of positives. We're seeing trophies being won. We're seeing cup finals being made. We're seeing clear progression. We're seeing the fact that we are now definitely a top 6 team guaranteed almost every year. And this season, we're a top 2 team. So things are going in our favour. And naturally, when that happens, you get budgets like this, and it all has a knock-on effect. We have now got £150 million to spend, no net debt, very minimal transfer debt. We can go and spend, and we are now in an era where we can bring in some really good new gens or pre-made world-class players. Now, looking at the team on paper, Adingra, Bakayoko, Reyes, that's a front three that can win a Premier League. The last front three could, this can do the same. The midfield, I think, is absolutely brilliant. Morton had a good season, but I do think between him and Kari, there still may be some better new gens coming in the next couple of years. And overall, the backline I love as well. We have built a great team. Goalkeeper's an interesting conversation because he's 31 and we might have a better new gen come in. But what we've built here is a mixture of very unique players. I mean, even Hugo, who was the star player at the start, maybe now not be the star player, he is still scoring goals. So even the players that were sort of the first generation of the real big names are still performing off the bench and getting some game time, which is a real positive to see. So I'm just going to keep plummeting through the seasons because we still have got a big goal to hit, the Premier League win. We have won the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. We haven't won the Champions League, and I don't know if we will win the Champions League because we've not got that many seasons left. I'm just hoping we can win the Premier League in the 10-season limit because we're not going the season over. So we are going to let go of Adil. He is going to be going to Leon on the free. Again, come for an undisclosed fee. Not too sure what that was. He played a few games at the start for us, but slowly played less and less and less. So only fair he goes. Rusin, the same thing applies. He's now 34. He goes free to the Ukrainian league. So he's a player that done remarkable things for the first couple of seasons, but then just, you know, didn't really have it in him to fight for a first team position or even rotation position. But I kept him around because injuries are relentless in this game. He wasn't the most demanding on the wage, so I kept him around, but he's now 34 and probably wants a bit of an easier time. Line and one for 58 million is going to be Sergio Mendes, coming in from Real Madrid, 36 games, 7 goal contributions, a very handy player, very similar to the other regen defender we signed. Can play left back, centre back, right back, and also DM. This guy is the complete package. He covers 4 positions, he's 22, perfectionist. Come on, what's not to like here? Another new gen, another opportunity. Oliver is going to come in from Sevilla for £17 million. Plays a ton of games, a pretty decent average rating. He can only play centre-back, to be honest, or if you're going a bit rogue, a little bit on the right attacking midfield side, which will not be happening for us. But 16 tackling, 14 heading, great acceleration, good anticipation, good concentration, good positioning. At the age of 23, can still grow, very ambitious. We are getting some winners in this team. And here's not the last signing. We are also going to go over and sign Cardoso Varela for £56 million. So a total of £123 million spent. He comes in and he looks fantastic. Now, I did lock him in for season 1, which is a bit unfair on Adingra, but I want to make sure that he comes in and gets comfortable with the team and comfortable with the league. Now, he has played at Tottenham, of course, let's not forget, but not too many games. In fact, we're not far off there. In fact, we have beaten it. We give him more game time in one season than they did over 4 years, so he needed that time to get used to the Premier League, definitely. And he returned me 29 goal contributions, so Tottenham, you've lost a gem there. Champions League, we are going to fall in the same area. The round of 16, this time 4-2 against Atletico Madrid. FA Cup, sadly we're not going to win. Nottingham Forest beat us in the 4th round. It's been a few seasons since that's happened. We bounce back in the Carabao Cup and we are going to win 3-1, meaning for the first time we have won back-to-back trophies, so that is always a very big positive. We also go on to win for the first time the Community Shield. We lost against City last year, we weren't going to lose again, and we beat them in the 90 minutes. Not on penalties, 3-1. 2 goals from Jose Reyes and also Cardoso. Have some of that. And the Premier League, we are now only 6 points, I've only done 5, 6 points off winning the Premier League. Really taking it to Man City. We've got Jose Reyes in the top goal scoring ranks, sitting in 3rd. We've got Cardoso Varela, top assister. We've got Johan Bakayoko. We've got Julian in goal, the 2nd most clean sheets. We are taking this to Man City for fun. Now, Man City, they've got Pep still in charge, which is remarkable to see. Their team is looking very, very strong. They've got a few new gens in there now as well. also some unorthodox players. I mean, Arda Güler, I would not expect to see. Gabri Vega, I believe, very interesting. Is that Nico Williams, I believe? No, Nathan Williams, not Nico, wrong player. But they've got a decent team, but I'm not going to lie to you. I think it's beatable. I think that is a beatable team. So looking at our team on paper, obviously you can see the man that we locked in there. I think we can take it to them. We have got a very good attack, a very good midfield, a very good back line. I think going into the next season, we are going to have a budget of 115 million. In my eyes, I might want another goalkeeper, a bit of a younger and better goalkeeper. Potentially another centre-back, at least as an option, and maybe another midfielder as an option. But again, Reyes is cooking up front, but I've seen some new-gen strikers on the market, and if any of them are available, they are absolutely nuts, and I will sign them. So logically, it would be a goalkeeper and midfield player, but you know, on this channel, we go a little bit off the rails sometimes, and we go and sign, you know, ridiculous strikers, and that might be what happens, so strap in. So for £42 million, we are going to welcome in Ayob Bouadi. I've got that right. Coming in from Man City, 42 million, 8 goal contributions, a very good average rating, and he probably completes the midfield, to be honest with you. A very good player. I mean, when it comes to the mental side, I think he might be one of the best I've seen. The work rate, the vision, the off-the-ball work, decision-making, anticipation, agility, balance. As an all-round player, he is absolutely incredible. He can play pretty much every midfield role you'd want. So if you do carry on this save file and think, oh, I don't like that role, you can change it and this guy will fit in. He is a perfect signing for this team. And we also get our goalkeeper in Harrison Diatta, coming in from West Ham, 14 clean sheets in his first season, which is pretty decent, to be honest, although our goalkeeper last year did get more clean sheets. But he is the better option. He's already better than our current goalkeeper, and he is many years younger. So it did make a lot of sense to get him. We do lose a couple of players that were quite important to us. Well, important at the start. We are going to lose Enzo, who, you know, he gets a move to the Saudi League. He played a lot of games for us over these years, and he was a big player from the start of the rebuild. But obviously, as time goes on, he gets older. Better players come in. He is lapping up 45k a week at the age of 34, so he's living good. We're not going to feel too bad about that. And also, Daniel Ballard, who was a real powerful centre-back for us, gets a move to the French League. He done his job very well, didn't he? I mean, a great player, but his time's up. He's 34. We've got better options. So this is at the stage of the rebuild where things do take a twist, because you lose the people that got you where you are. And never nice to see, but we are replacing them with good young talent. We've only got 2 years, though, to try and win the Premier League. That's just clocked. And now we have 1 season to win the Premier League, because we lose the Premier League by a point. What a title race that is between United, Sunderland, Tottenham and City. Joint with Tottenham, 1 point behind City. And we do not have any players in the top goal scoring ranks. Ditta, our goalkeeper, is going to be in the 3rd most clean sheets. Bakayoko is going to be the most player of the matches. Cardoso also had a great season as well, but we've not got another chance. We've got 1 more chance. After that, we're going to fail the challenge. And this video will get posted either way, by the way. We're not going to go back and make sure we win it. If we don't win the Premier League, we don't win it. It's as simple as that. But this is as close as it gets. So I feel like if we do make the right signings, we are going to complete this. We are going to complete the rebuild. But it's just about actually making them signings and seeing what we can do. But it's a lot of pressure. I don't think this has ever happened before. And in the FA Cup, things didn't go too well either. We are going to be losing to Manchester United 1-0 in extra time, so not ideal there. World Cup, we are going to lose on penalties in the quarterfinals. It seems like this season is the year of being close to things, but not quite getting the job done, which worries me because we are in a Champions League final, and I could really do with winning this because that was also part of the challenge of this video. Now, to get to the semis, by the way, which we did actually beat Barcelona 3-1 in, we are playing Manchester United in that final. We had to get past teams like PSG. We done that in 4-2 fashion. The round of 16, we get past Atletico Madrid. We done that in quite dominant fashion, to be honest. So we have earned our right to be in the final, but so far this year has been the almost season. Don't make the Champions League the almost. So we're off to Budapest for that final, and it might be the almost season because they're going to go 1-0 up with Bruno. No, not Bruno Fernandes, just a guy called Bruno. But if there's one thing I've learnt about this team, we can get back into games, and that's exactly what we've done. With Ben Doak down the right-hand side, a ball in, plenty of space, a good header, awful goalkeeping. That is definitely a new-gen keeper. We're back into the game literally about 17 minutes after they scored, and luckily for us, in the 113th minute, we're going to get the ball on the edge into Balde, a ball inside, and Hugo, one of our first signings, wins us the Champions League. So that's at least one positive. We have won the Champions League, one of the big trophies I wanted to win. The aim was to win the Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Premier League, and the Community Shield was an added bonus, but we have won everything apart from the Premier League. Now, of course, we've got Champions League football next year. We have got a lot of money to take into the last season. We've got 199 million to go and spend, and I'm going to make this very clear. I am going to be sabotaging myself in the Champions League to focus on the Premier League next season because I want to win it. Over 10 years, we've got to win the Premier League, and this does prove the point what you guys were making about the meta tactics and stuff like that. So if you do want to keep me, see me using non-meta tactics for the rebuilds, let me know. I guess it's good for you guys as well because you almost get another tactic as well. When I use my own tactics, you don't get another tactic on the Patreon. So it sort of gives you guys even more content than what you were getting. So it's a win-win, I suppose, for you guys. But this last season, this is just going to be bringing in new gens. I'll keep it real. Maybe we finally get that striker that's on the market. That could be an option. Cardoso is being incredible on that left-hand side. Nice to see Adingra is also getting the game time. The wing-backs are doing great. The goalkeeper's doing great. But this is a big season now. Season 10. One last roll of the dice to win that Premier League. We've got the money to do it. We've had the money all the way through. We've got no excuse not to win it. Let's go and get it done. £58 million, we are going to bring in a bit of a hybrid player between striker and winger. It's going to be another Portuguese talent in Antonio Miller, coming in from City for 50, 11 goals, 16 assists, and he comes in, and just that player alone can be the difference from being a few points behind or 1 point behind to being that Premier League winning team. With weakened Man City, which obviously is the aim, and we have got a very good versatile player who is still only 24. This guy I think might be the complete piece of the puzzle though. We are going to sign Bram de Smet, coming in from AN Ghent. He's going to come in for 52 million, 34 goals. He nearly averaged a goal every single game, and that's because he's got some of the most well-rounded attributes I've seen for a striker. A world-class player, you add him and the previous player in, our attack has gone from like here, it was already quite good, to through the roof. This attack is going to be crazy. And just to make sure the defence is okay, the last signing of this entire video, whatever happens, is going to be Jordan Ben Hamad. He's going to come in from Nantes, 31 million, a decent performer, very similar to the first new gen defender we got. If you cast your memory back, he could play right back really well, centre back and left back. This guy can do that, but also could technically cover a game in midfield. I wouldn't say it's his strongest area, but he could if needed, so it's always good to know. And that is three very good players, way under budget. We had about 70 million spare if we wanted it, but we didn't spend it. Hopefully this is enough. Well, the first time I believe playing in it, it is the first time, the UEFA Super Cup, we are going to win 1-0, which is quite nice because, of course, this is the last season, so good to get that done. FA Cup, we are going to win 4-3 over Brighton, which is good in the last season. We've actually won that trophy 3 times over this 10-year period, so we sort of recovered that, I feel. World Cup winners, again in the last season, and that is going to be done by winning it 4 times as well. So a very, very strong season in terms of the Carabao Cup, because it's or season, should I say, because it's a trophy which a lot of people overlook. But as a Sunderland team that want any trophy they can get, I'm happy we've won it so much. Champions League, sadly, we are going to lose in the semi-finals. Now, the good thing is we did win it last year. So that is the big thing about this. We have won the trophy. We were very close to getting to back-to-back finals, but we simply just couldn't get the job done. We have won the Premier League in the last season, and it's on goal difference. Tottenham pushed us to the max, and I do think without De Smet, we might not have got the job done because he outscored Haaland, he outscored everyone. 34 goals, the most player of the matches. Antonio Miller is going to be your top assister as well. He played a big part in it. I've just noticed Liverpool, 9 points deducted administration for Liverpool. They're going to finish in 11th place, which is not good. That is not a good time for Liverpool, especially if you're a Liverpool fan watching. But we have won the Premier League in season 10, finally. We were runners-up twice this entire time, third place once. We were pushing the limits for the past 4 seasons. We have finally got the job done and achieved it in the most ugly way, on goal difference. Never nice to win it like that, but beggars can't be choosers at the end of the day. That is going to be a quadruple in the last season, so very happy with what we have achieved. If you want a little challenge, your challenge is to win the Champions League and the Premier League in the same season by 2035. If you do it, send me a screenshot on Patreon via Imaga or Gyazo, one of those sort of screenshot websites. The first person to send it in will get £10 on PayPal as a little thank you for being a member. Now, what have we actually left you with? I feel a very good team. You have got some of the best regen attackers I think you might have seen in a rebuild. The front line is absolutely on fire. He's not a regen and he is now 33, but let's just show a little bit of love to Adingra because he has been absolutely fantastic. De Smet's come in and had a great time. You've got great players off the bench to bring on as well, and if you're not happy, you've got a budget of £114 million. Although I will say, don't spend too much because you will break the financial fair play. But you've been left here with a batch of players that can easily go again. That's what I try and do. In the last season, I will try and spend a bit of money just to leave you with a team that can be used for at least a season, if not 2. And I mean, if you look at it on paper, you've got 2 good goalkeepers. The back line, you've got so much rotation. I'm not even going to highlight it all, you know. I'll give you a glimpse. You've got absolutely loads. Midfield, again, you've got really good options all across the board. You've got a player in each position twice. Winger-wise, you've got Adingra, you've got Miller, you've got Cardoso, Doak, you've got obviously Bakayoko. You've got lots of players in here. Garnacho, we can't forget about, and striker, you've got like 3 of them. So you have got a fantastic team to go and use. But that is going to be Sunderland rebuilt, a 5-star reputation team, loads of trophies in the cabinet, and a perfect way to end the video winning the Premier League title. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.